This setup feels very intimate. Welcome to my bed. This is really reminding me of my slumber series, and if any of you guys know what I'm talking about, then you have been here for a very long time. Today we are going to be reacting to assumptions. I realized that I made this video 1 or 2 years ago with one of my best friends, Lucas. I justified doing this again because I didn't get to choose the assumptions last time, so I feel like I have a bit more control. You're low-key a control freak. A lot of you guys assumed that I'm a very clean and organized person, which I understand why, because of the way that I make my videos. I would say I'm more of a control freak with my work, and if anyone is trying to help me with it, or if someone is like doing something to me, like you guys know that I love cutting my hair and doing my own eyebrow and like all these different things. So if someone's getting close to like my face, I am very like, are you sure you're good? Okay, you're good. Next assumption, that you don't cry often. I'm in the middle. I happy cry a lot. I cry from pain if it's a big enough owie, and I cry from being like overwhelmed or frustrated. I feel like you like to be in quarantine, you don't really miss your old life. That is a huge false. I think at the beginning I definitely selfishly was excited to have a little bit more time at home. All of that has been great and we're not taking that for granted, but I've definitely cracked and reached the point of just missing my friends. I haven't seen my parents once this year. I don't love being in quarantine, and seeing other people that are not quarantining is very hard for me to watch. I think you are passive. I would say, as a Pisces, being passive is sort of a default. You have plastic surgery. I don't. I'm sure I will get Botox at some point in my life, in my forehead or whatever, to delay the aging process. Do what you want, it's your body, but I think a lot of that is based on the current beauty standards and beauty trends, and I just think that those are shifting and changing all the time. You're really close with Billy, but just don't post about it. I get a lot of comments from you guys asking why I don't put Billy in my videos. Billy is very famous, obviously, to the point where if there's anything about her or a split second of her in one of my videos, it gets reposted and recorded, just kind of shared everywhere, and I don't want or need that kind of attention on here because I don't want people to think that that's what they're gonna get when they come here. If you're here, then this is what you're here for. This is what you're getting. So to answer that question, it is 100% a conscious decision and choice that I make to finalize this topic. Not everything that happens is recorded and put online. I feel like that is a very obvious statement. Sorry. I'm not sorry. You're always very organized and know what's happening. I keep my own personal spaces organized, and I try to organize my days as much as I can. It's definitely been harder lately. If I don't make the conscious decision to plan out my day the night before, then the day just blows right past me. To answer the second part about knowing what's happening, no, I never know what's happening. I have no clue where I'm gonna be in 5 years, no idea. And is it stressful to think about? Absolutely. You smell good. When I try to smell good, I think I smell really good. But also, I use natural deodorant. When I every so often put on self-tanner, those are my smelliest days. Even if it smells good in the bottle, like 12 hours later, it's that chemical-y smell that just sucks. You can speak another language. Yes, I am 100% Polish, so I am bilingual and can speak Polish. You're a stoner. No, so far from it. You smoke Mary Jane. I do not currently. I have, of course, recreationally. It is very fun if you're in a safe environment and you're not overdoing it, because we have had some crazy experiences. I think as far as lifestyle goes, I definitely don't ever see myself incorporating it that much. It's fun, but I also get really sort of in my head. Not anxious about what's happening around me, more so anxious that I'm gonna say something stupid and then I overthink and then I go into a tunnel and then I answer a question that like someone asked me 10 minutes ago, and it's just exhausting to have to preface that I'm high every time that happens. I'm just better off without it. You want to be an actor but struggle to get into that industry. I'm just at a point where I am auditioning for everything. If it happens, it happens. I love it so much. I am not putting any sort of pressure on that being my future or eventually the main thing that I do, because there's so much uncertainty and lack of control in that. I'm so glad that I have many things that I can work on to not have to obsess over one thing or worry about one thing. I love acting and I don't see myself ever being disinterested in that. But I don't get to choose when I act. Like, I'm just auditioning like everyone else in this city. You manifested Phineas into your life. I sort of feel like I did, okay? I remember one time writing like a list of characteristics of a man that I want in my life. Recently, I went back on that journal entry and I looked at it and I was like, damn. I feel like I manifested the kind of person that I would end up dating, but obviously I didn't know who that was going to be. You're pregnant. I actually did have quite the pregnancy scare for the first time in my life. I'm on the pill, so not entirely, but I did miss my last period, which just made me freak out. I definitely expedited a pregnancy test to our house, took it, and I'm not, you know what? I'm not pregnant and I also got my period today. Woo! Woo! So let's just keep that in mind for today's video. I am cramping, I am bleeding. You were raised in a really religious environment, but grew away from it as an adult. I don't feel like I was raised in a super religious environment. I was born and raised Catholic, just sort of because my Polish school, I had Polish school every single Saturday up until I think like 8th grade. And so that was connected to religion class. I don't know where I fall right now. I journal and I meditate when I need to, and I talk to someone or myself or the universe when I need to, and it feels really good, and that's what's most important. When I do that shit, I feel really good. You don't usually use emoji on chat. I use emojis all the time. You seem like a super relaxed person. Pretty much. You and Lexi aren't that close anymore. My love for Lexi it is like eternal. I feel like both of us just admire each other from afar, and we suck at communicating, but every time we FaceTime, we're like, oh my God, I miss you. My friendship with her is unreplaceable and just unmatched. Like, she's Lexi. Like, I could cry about it. You and Lucas Gage were a thing. A lot of people assumed that, but when I was single, like, I mean, I've always just been a very touchy person. I love my friends, I hug my friends, I kiss my friends. When you're in a committed relationship, you don't really do that anymore, you know? But as a free spirit single lady, like, I can totally see how the internet would have thought and calculated that we were a thing, but Lucas and I have never dated and we've never been a thing. You don't have freak out or mental breakouts that often. I have a lot of freakouts mentally in my head. I'm really good at shoving that down to the point where I don't realize it, and then everything just sort of appears in front of me at one point. I mean, that like literally happened last night. I internalize a lot of it, which is not that great, but it also sort of lets me process them by myself without having to bring others and involve them in my own shit that's like happening in my brain. At some point in my life, I feel like I should start going to therapy, and I realized that I could literally sign up and do that today, but I also have this weird fear about it where I feel like my emotions and the things that are happening in my life are not worth going to therapy for, like my issues are not dramatic enough or something. That is just a very dumb and stupid and passive thing to think about. I think I just heard Peach bark in her dreams. She does this like, she's doing it right now. She does this thing where she keeps her mouth closed and she goes it's so cute. Did you hear that? Melts my heart. You always picked your boogers when you were little. Love you. I still pick my boogers. Genuine question. For everyone that says they don't pick their nose, what do you do with your boogers? Where do they go? Because if you're breathing through your nose, you're gonna get boogers. So are you carrying Kleenex around with you and blowing your nose? I feel like we need to normalize booger picking. You're the most confident you've ever been. I really hope so. That is so sweet. Health-wise, physically, all that sort of stuff, I'm definitely the most confident and just welcoming. That's not the word. Acceptance. That's the word that I want to use. I just accept every part of me and genuinely feel like it this time. In terms of like my sort of inner dialogue. I don't know if I will ever reach full confidence in that because I have insecurities and I'm nervous about many things and I have fears. Those are obviously always going to be battles that like I feel like I'm personally always going to be trying to overcome. I think you're a bit insecure about your education. It so depends on what you want to do with your life. I think as a creative, it was the best decision for me because I got to take control of my time and my money and just start working on what I want to do forever, hopefully. And so I don't feel that it was the wrong decision, but I definitely get insecure when I'm meeting someone for the first time and I admit, yeah, I didn't go to college. To help with that insecurity, right now I'm taking just a free online course, Intro to Psychology, and I'm having a lot of fun taking notes and taking the quizzes and just sort of feeling like I am learning something. And I hope to always just be learning in whatever capacity for the rest of my life, because I think if you're not learning and growing, then you're like basically dying.
Okay, that was so dark.
You don't look at the price before buying something now that you have a partner with money. We try to split everything as much as we can. Like if I buy the table, then he will buy the chairs that go with the table. And that's sort of like the system that we have. We split our mortgage. I very much enjoy being financially independent, knowing that if anything were to ever happen, I can fully live on my own and take care of myself just how I was before ever meeting him. Not trying to have that sort of dynamic in my life ever. I would like to be working for as long as I can. That's actually it. That's all that I screenshotted. Grab some water, register to vote. A lot of places are already accepting ballots and early voting. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I love you so much. Bye.